He's barking. So check it out. Thursday night beer review. Three Crafty Bastards. Of course, I'm B Smith. Mr. Classic couldn't be here tonight, but to remain consistent, I'm going to go ahead and bring you this real quick beer review. Again, from the New York series. If you've seen any of our previous beer reviews, you know that my sister went to New York. She was in Rochester. She brought some beer back, so of course I got to give the beer credit to her. But this beer right here is from New York. And tonight I want to bring you a review on a pale ale. Now I don't know if you can see that. Check that out. That's a Roc Brewing Company Pale Ale. ROC. Shout out to Hove. I don't know if the throw up the diamond. I don't know what we're doing here, but uh, you have to wonder if it has a correlation. I don't know. Maybe Hove's got his money in beer brewing. Who knows? Anyway, I have the opportunity to give this beer review, and since it's a pale ale with 28 IBUs, which is relatively low, Mr. Classic Mike said that's in his wheelhouse. I feel like he probably wouldn't care for this one too much, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this beer on solo. So, a few things. One, you have to know that this is a limited edition pale ale. So it's in a 12-ounce can. You can tell it came from a brewery because it's basically just a silver aluminum can. They slapped a label on it. But the funny thing is that unless you have some stored, you cannot get this beer anymore. This is, like I said, limited edition. But when I did a little bit of digging to research this beer for tonight's review, they're no longer making it. Roc Brewing in Rochester, New York, is no longer making this beer. So, with that being said, there is a few funny things. There is no ABV on the can. There's no IBUs on the can. That's kind of typical. You know, like you kind of want to know what you're getting yourself into. If you know anything about Indiana beer and Southern Indiana beer, then you know about 450 North and how they were kind of uh, playing their cards, let's say, you know, because they make a great product. I love 450 North, but if you were drinking their beer to get drunk, you probably weren't gonna on some of their beers. Uh, Unfortunately, it blew into this whole thing, but 450 North recovered very well. So one of the first things I noticed is that there's no ABV on here. So I was real curious and I really started to dig because I was literally like, what is it? Is it 5%? Is it 4%? Is it 3%? Is it 12%? You know? And I finally found it on Untappd. Somebody reviewed it on Untappd when it was available. And they said that it was, 5.1%. And that the ABVs on it were, or the IBUs on it were 21, 20, 28. I don't know numbers. IBUs. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and give this guy a pour. Like I said, you can catch this beer out of Rochester, New York. And I was kind of looking at their beer menu because I kind of wondered what they had to. Oh wow, look at that! I was kind of wondering what they had to offer. Nice golden color, very light. I feel like this beer is going to be very, very drinkable, and I probably didn't pour that as well as I could, but I digest. So, uh, Disco Kiko, Disco Kiko, Pale Ale American style. Golden Mallet, which is an IPA. Bunk Bed Brawl, which is a sour that's fruited. The one that really caught my attention was Sweet Chai O' Mine, which is a milk stout with chai. They have a red ale, of course. Double IPA, Imperial IPA. They have a house cider. They have a semi-dry cider. They have a rose hibiscus cider, which I bet is delicious, for being honest. Anyway, you can get onto their website, Roc Brewing Co. Roc ROC Brewing Co.com, and you can kind of check out what their menu has to offer. And if you ever end up in New York, you can go check out Roc Brewing. I never really asked my sister how it was, but I know that she's been there because the can would indicate so. So, let's see. Got a little bit on the nose there. It smells just like a pale ale, real light, real drinkable. just gonna go for it. Just gonna do it, man. Today's world, just do it. It's a lot of dead air. So my initial thoughts are one, it's not overly aromatic. You can't hold it up to your nose and tell what's in it. Upon taste, it's just a regular pale ale. There's nothing too hoppy about it. It's very mild. Uh, Maybe a little bit of citrus, but nothing that's too subtle that you'd even notice unless you were looking for it. Kind of reminds me of the porter that we did a review on last week, which, if you go to Three Crafty Bastards on YouTube, that beer review is up, and you can go watch that beer review right now. I mean, go watch it right now, and then come back because you'll be able to watch this one on YouTube as well, and you'll also be able to watch it on Facebook, and you'll be able to watch it on my page. You'll be able to watch it on Three Crafty Bastards page. If you have any friends, you could always share it. And of course, the YouTube videos are up from last week's show, in which we covered, things you could do to feel young, love languages, and glam camping, which is weird for two guys to sit there and talk about that while we're drinking beer, but we like to run the norm on weird. So this beer, last time before we rate, is it good? Yeah, it's good. It's drinkable. You could honestly drink like 3, 4, maybe 5 of those if you're that kind of guy, and you'd be okay, man. Like I said, it's not overbearing. The density or the density, science word. The texture of it isn't too bad. Very light, very drinkable. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, I would have to give this beer, I don't know, let's say 3.75. Like, it's good. I could drink it. I wouldn't, after having this one, I wouldn't necessarily seek it out. I wouldn't, well, I guess I am kind of telling my friends about it, but I wouldn't say, hey man, you really have to go get this beer. This is insane. You have to taste this, like some of the other beers that I've had. But if it was a nice summer day and, it's nice outside, maybe you're grilling out, maybe you're hitting the links, this is a good beer for that. So, the downside to that is that you can't get it. I have the last one. So take that, beer drinkers. So in true Three Crafty Bastards fashion, Gladiator fashion, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, man. Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It's drinkable. I think it's better than okay, but not great. Somewhere in the middle. So come back to YouTube anytime. You can check out some of our beer reviews, some of the ones that we've done previously. We're always doing shows where we're either talking about stupid shit, fart jokes, which is probably our most viewed segment. Farts, really, people. And various other topics that you can catch us talking about on YouTube, just being stupid. Check out our page, Three Crafty Bastards, on Facebook. We're always posting stupid memes, beer reviews, segments, the same segments that you can go back and catch on YouTube. You can always catch weird shit on my page, B Smith. And then, of course, you can check out Mr. Classic. He's always contributing as well. Come back to us next Thursday. We'll be doing some sort of show. We've kind of talked about it, but we haven't talked about it, but we know it's going to happen. So I will be just as surprised as you are about the content of that. For Three Crafty Bastards, I'm B Smith. Cheers.